In this Premiere tutorial, we're going to look at the basics of importing footage, working with footage in the timeline or editing, and then exporting footage from Premiere. So when you launch Premiere, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see this window, and you have a choice here of recent projects if you've had something you've already been working on. A new project, you could go and open another project. Third choice is Help. If you click on Help, this is going to launch your web browser. And you can see here, here's the help for Premiere, what's new, the interface. If you come over here, you can also get started looking at tutorials. So this is a good resource if you're just starting out to kind of get a feel for Premiere. So here we're going to pick New Project. If you had a project already created, you could open it. Like if I wanted to go back to this project, I could open it. I'm going to say New Project. And down here under Capture, if you were going to bring your footage in from HDV instead of DV, you could pick that there. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to save it to my desktop, and I'm just going to call this Demo. I'm going to say OK. And then here it's asking us what kind of footage we're working with, because it wants to know, okay, if you're working with, DV, then I'll make your sequence basically match DV. We don't need to worry about that right now, so I'm just going to say Cancel. And we're just going to launch the project here. So we've got the project, and we want to import the footage. And when we say import, this is the footage we've captured from a camera or brought in from like a HDSLR, a red camera, a flip cam, something that's tapeless. So basically once you've already put your media on your hard drive, then you import it. So to do that, I could go to File, I could go to Import, click there. I can navigate to my footage on my desktop. I could grab a clip and just say Import. And that's going to bring in that file, that video clip. Okay. I could also double click in here in the project and then double click on a clip to do that. I could also go down to my media browser here at the bottom, and I could navigate this, go to Home Directory, come over here to Desktop. And then the nice thing about using the media browser is that it gives you a few more options. So I just want to find, where's my project? There it is. So here, if you basically right click, you could say Open in Source Monitor, and what that would do is just bring your footage in here to the source window, but it's not living in the project, so I could just look and see if I like this footage. Now if I like it and I think I want to use it, I can just click here on the video, drag it over, you'll see a hand plus icon, it will drop it in. But if I didn't like it, I could just come up here and just close it. Okay. Also here you could click on a clip, you could right click, and your other choice is you could basically just say import. So you could say import, and that will go ahead and put it in your project. Okay. So I've got 4 clips here. I'm just going to double click and bring a couple other clips in. And I've got a little soundtrack clip here because this footage doesn't really have usable audio. Okay. So I don't have a sequence yet, and the sequence is where we're going to assemble this footage. It's basically going to be our program. Okay. And so I've got some footage here, and down here this is the new item icon. I'm going to click on this clip and drag it down and let it go on the new item icon. And in just a second you'll see it'll update, and so now we have a sequence that fits our clip. Okay? And if I want the footage to fit the whole sequence here, if I hit the backslash key, I can basically see all my footage. This is a CTI, it's a current time indicator. If I drag this through, you can hear it. I'm actually scrubbing through the audio. Okay? And if you notice here, watch what happens when I move the CTI down here in the sequence. You see it also moves up here in the program. So the program is a visual representation of what you're doing down here in your sequence. Okay. So if I hit play up here and then hit stop, so dragging through here is the same thing as dragging up here in the program. Okay. Or hitting play up here. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to select this clip. I'm just going to drag down, hit delete. And when I bring it in this time, I don't want to bring in the audio. Okay? And I'm going to go up here. The source is where you look at the footage. And so the source is a separate window. The source is where you kind of audition the footage that you want to put down into your sequence that you'll then see in your program. So I'm going to hit I on my keyboard to set an endpoint, or I can basically click this little icon right here, scroll through, and click the mark out or hit O. Now I just want to put the video down and not the audio, because audio, as you can hear, is not usable. So right here, drag video only icon, click on it, drag this down. Now I just have my video. Now I need some music in here, so I'm going to put this soundtrack wave down in here. And it's really long. So what I'm going to do, it's like 4 minutes almost. I'm going to double click to load it up here into my source. I'm going to go to like 30 seconds and hit O on my keyboard to set it out. And then here I'm going to put my hand over the drag audio only speaker, drop it in. Okay? Now it's going to be too loud. We don't want it to ever hit 0, and it doesn't. It's just a little close. So just to be safe here, though, I'm going to click and give myself more room here. And on this yellow line, I'm going to drag it down. So as a general rule of thumb, you want your main audio to average around -12, and this is about right. Drag it down a little bit more. Okay. So we'll set our audio, and we have a clip in here. So right now we've got one video clip. Okay. Let's say we want to add another clip here. When I click on these clips here, you can see them pop up right here. And the thing to remember about these clips are not the actual media on your hard drive. Okay, these are like pointers to it. They're a reference. My point being that if I select these clips and hit delete, and it says yes, you're removing stuff, I'm not removing stuff from the hard drive. I'm just removing it from the project. Okay, so if I hit Apple Z or go back and say edit undo, I can just be back to where I was before. So be aware of that. This is non-destructive editing. If I basically remove something from the project, I'm not removing the media from the hard drive. Okay? So I'm going to go find another shot here, double click to load it in the source, and I'm going to go where this guy is looking down, so I move the playhead down here in the sequence to where he's looking down. Hit I, hit the space bar to play it, hit O. Again, I don't want to put audio down here, okay? And the safe thing to do down here so I don't mess up my soundtrack is this little box right here. If I click it, it will lock my audio. So this will keep me from accidentally messing up this audio. And now I'm just going to click on this video, drag only, and drag it right here to where my CTI or current time indicator is. So I'm going to play it. Okay, so we've got 3 clips here. What if I wanted another clip to be the beginning? Okay, maybe let's say I did want to start with this clip instead. Okay, what I could do here is, you see there's these 2 icons here, insert and overwrite. So instead of dragging, if I wanted this clip to be the first clip and push these clips down, if I basically just click the insert button, it'll put that clip down and push the other ones down for me. I'm going to hit Apple Z or Control Z to undo that. I could also drag the video down, and I'm going to trim this up. This clip is really long, so I'm just clicking on the ends here to kind of shorten this clip. I'm going to drag here. And now when I drag, if I hold down the Apple or the Control key, you'll see the icon changes, and this is telling me that it's going to insert the footage into the timeline instead of overwriting or replacing the footage that's there. So I'm going to let go of my mouse, and then it makes room for it. So we have this clip here. Now he basically does the same thing in this clip here, and we don't need that. So what's a quick way to get rid of this? We could select this clip and just right click and just say ripple delete, and that'll pull that clip out. So it pulls it out and then closes the gap. You could also close a gap. Let's say this footage wasn't touching here. You could have the playhead or the CTI here, and to basically right click, and I could say ripple delete, and that would also close the hole. Okay? I'm going to hit my backslash key to kind of see everything. I'm going to unlock my audio. I click on the end of the audio and drag it down so the video is the same length. And you see here when you drag, see it's kind of snapping. You see those little arrows popping up? That's because snapping is turned on here by default. So if you turn this off when you drag, things won't pop to the edges. And a lot of times that means that you accidentally won't line things up. So in this situation, snapping is good. So you want snapping on, and you can see it just kind of pops. Okay. Now I would go and save this. So File, Save. And let's say that I want to export this now. I would go File, Export, and since this, I'm going to export media here. And I have choices. Let's say that I want to do a web movie here. So I could go over here to Format and pick H.264, or I could pick Flash, which would be a good web format. If I wanted to match sequence settings, that would be in a situation where I want to output a master format, which means what we output is going to match what we edited with, and then we can make different versions from that. Then we can make a couple different web movies or a DVD movie. But in this example, we're just going to uncheck that, and we're going to get a preset here, and so you see you have different presets. So let's just say here that we were going to use, so we're going to do it for Vimeo, or you could also pick YouTube. So if I was doing Vimeo HD, I just click here Vimeo HD. It sets things up for me. It shows me here what things are. I do know though that this footage should be 24, so under frame rate I would just pick 24 for this footage. And then output name is the name of it. So you want to click here and name it. So I'm going to call it test for web, give it a specific name. And I'm going to basically save it to my desktop. Hit save. And so basically it's ready now, so it's saying this is the file, and basically if I come down here and I hit export, it's going to go and encode the movie. So it's building the movie, so it's going to be a regular QuickTime file that will play. So we'll let it finish encoding. Okay. I'm going to hit Apple H to hide Premiere. I'm going to right click and just say open with and pick QuickTime. And so now we can see our little test movie we did. I'll play it. Okay, so hopefully that gives you guys an idea of how to get footage into Premiere, how to do some basic editing, and then to export your footage out of Premiere.